You mentioned favorite Alex Ross work. I think that's a good transition.
Ooh, shall we get into some dope Alex Ross work? We're talking about one of my favorite artists, and we have never done an Alex Ross list of sorts. So what I did is I compiled my 5 favorite Alex Ross comics, as did you.
And then mine 5. And what does 5 plus 5 equal?
It counts as 10.
We're going to do a 10, a top 10 Alex Ross list.
That's right. Quick math. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We make a lot of comic book themed content. Yo, comic fam, if you use code ComicTom101 at the checkout, I'll put the link in the description to be able to get this hardcover if you are interested in one. Alex Ross and Rups Comics, courtesy of them, they're hooking up the community with a $15 off coupon. And this is not a sponsorship. I'm not getting paid if you buy this book. I just think it's awesome, and it's very nice of them to do this. Anyway, back to the video. Let's go through here and take a look at these 10 comic books. We're going to start this list off with my favorite Alex Ross cover probably in the last few years. And we're talking about Detective Comics 1000, the homage to Detective Comics 27.
We didn't even touch on that in this book.
Dude, there are so many side-by-side shots of Alex Ross work with the Alex Ross rendition right next to the homage. And there's something about being able to look at it in a book format right next to each other.
Side by side, page by page. Yeah, like just the Captain America one with the Hitler punch, like the original and the Alex Ross homage version.
The X-Men right next to the X-Men.
Right.
The Fantastic Four next to the Fantastic Four. Avengers 4 next to Avengers 4. It's like you see them separately, but when you see them side by side, it makes me think of him being in his studio next to that image.
Right.
In creating.
So, of course, you had to pick the Detective Comics one. The Batman obviously wouldn't be in the Marvel book.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing a different kind of homage here.
And I have some prices for these books for you, comic fam. There was a recent 9.9 signed by Alex Ross copy that sold for $750. But if you're okay to get a copy that isn't signed, you don't mind a raw copy, you can get one for like $150 to $200 in your mint.
Lucky me, I just have the normal Detective Comics 1000 cover.
Well, we do have one here to give away on the show in the future. So stay tuned for that. And let's chat about your dollar bin pick. I'm glad you put this one on the list. And it's also featured in this Marvelocity book.
That's how recent it is.
That's right.
It's from the recent Captain America run.
2018.
Right. You know me. I got to go with modern stuff.
Right.
And when I was picking my favorite Alex Ross covers, I knew that he's been doing these Captain America covers. So I went and I looked at all of them. And I found my favorite. It was really early. It was number 2. It's the cover for number 2 with him holding the flagpole. It's just classy.
Something fun that Alex is quoted saying in this book is about how the wings on the side of Captain America's helmet or whatever, whatever he's wearing on his head, his mask, depending on the cap.
True.
Not negotiable.
Gotta have those.
Gotta have them. Like, it's quoted in the book. Like, it was so important that he's like, it's got to make the book, that he demands those wings be in the Captain America design. I love that.
It's pretty iconic for the guy.
And dude, you picked a dollar bin book, man. It's a classic book. It's a really cool cover.
I like
Definitely
the run.
Underappreciated, and it's a good run.
Yep.
All right. Next one on this list is one that I talked about all the time. But you know what? This book is available all over the place. It's so affordable. And for Alex Ross's first published work, Terminator, The Burning Earth, issue number 1. This is in high grade, $10 to $15 book, but it regularly gets missed and put into like the $2 bin.
Wow.
That
one should not be anywhere in any kind of bin.
And it's a minor key for that reason, but I think it's fun that he kind of entered into the comic book world doing science fiction titles.
One of my favorite things that I like Alex Ross for is the way he draws fire. And even on that cover, there's a bunch of fire in the background. It's getting an early start with that sort of thing. Another one I like, I didn't really even know about this one until recently. He did a cover for the Game of Thrones comic. The first issue, it's got Ned Stark on the front and all of the dire wolves. And the way it's all put together too, it even feels like you're looking at one of the books itself. I'm a Game of Thrones book nerd, so I appreciate how accurate this looks. One of the cooler parts is that there's a bunch of different versions of this comic. The A cover looks awesome, goes for $15, but the one that people are really after is the blue sketch variant that goes for $100.
Yeah, it's fun because they made a handful of variants for this issue, and there's actually the prices are pretty competitive for all of them. This is an adaptation of the book, but the character designs are similar to the show. So there's a lot of reasons why a collector would actually want to own this comic book. And then to have an A-list artist behind the cover, it makes sense that they would make more than one cover. So you named the two main keys that people are after, the affordable and the very scarce version that's blue and fantastic looking. But there's also a newsstand variant that goes for $45. There's a black and white sketch variant that goes for $55. And we have the very wanted second print variant that goes for around $70. And it's one of those random occurrences where, yeah, second print with the right title, when it's under ordered, it ends up being hotter than some of the other variants than in which they even intended to have more value.
That's what I get for trying to find second prints.
It's what goes on, man, in the comic book community. You know, on my list, I had to include Batman Harley Quinn issue number 1. It's one of the best covers of all time. And I say that for not even being a huge Joker or Harley Quinn fan.
You're not a Joker fan? I can understand not being a Harley Quinn fan.
I'm a fan of both. I like both. But dude, I'm a Plastic Man fan.
Well, of course.
You know, I'm a freaking
Right there.
Batman fan. All right. I really like certain characters over others. As far as villains go, dude, I love Scarecrow. I'm a diehard Riddler fan.
Learning all sorts of things about you today.
But the Joker, he's pretty cool. I think it's cool. Harley Quinn, she's pretty cool too. But this cover is legendary. And it goes for like $80 to $100 all day in VF to near mint.
Well, that's how you know it's legendary.
And it's one that you always have to check that inside cover to make sure you're dealing with the first printing.
This is why I love being here. I learn so many things. I learn all of the things.
It's one of those examples of books that you just have to know because of experience. You deal with it, you make the mistake, you buy the wrong one, or you think you had a first print and you experience opening it up going, oh, actually, this isn't a first print. Like that happens enough times that that's what you think about when you read this book. All right. Tell me about Immortal Hulk, because you know we had to put this on here.
You can't not put Immortal Hulk on a list of favorite Alex Ross covers. For me, anyway, I had to put Immortal Hulk on here.
Dude, the Guru is gunning for original cover art of Immortal Hulk. He wants something. And I'm like, how the heck is that even
I'm still trying to find issue number 2, let alone like the original art. Like, screw you, Jeff.
I know. Jeff's like, I'm actively looking for original. I'm like, damn, dude. Looking for original Immortal Hulk? I hope you can bring that here and we can put it on the studio.
In Ryan's car.
And put it in Ryan's car.
Yes, I'll take that home.
Which Immortal Hulk did you pick?
I ended up going with the cover for issue 8.
Issue number 8 with the jars and the heads and all that.
Yes. Firstly, because it's a creepy cover and it's just really well done. But I love this issue. And this is one of the scariest issues of the run. It's back in like the early Immortal Hulk. Like a lot of people have given up on this title as of late.
It wasn't at a height yet. It was at a height closer on issue 13 and 14. So it was like still, are they going to keep this going? Is this going to get canceled? Like those are actual conversations that they were probably having at Marvel.
And this issue in particular was terrifying in a very good way. I don't necessarily want to spoil more than that. It's been over a year, but I don't know. I mean, I love this early run of Immortal Hulk. I'm actually still enjoying it, but the early stuff is where it's at. And issue 8 has probably my favorite cover in the early run of Immortal Hulk. Like in the first 10 issues, I'm picking this one.
There's some strange things happening with the Immortal Hulk run right now as well. Random issues are starting to spike. There's some random like speculator conversations happening, arguments about maybe something should be first appearance here or there, considering the print counts of some of those early issues. This issue number 8 goes for $15 and climbing. And I bet you'd be surprised at some of the other issues in the run. I encourage the community to keep up with the various price changes in that run because you may have an extra copy in your long box that may be good moving right now.
Give them to me.
Or you can give them to Ryan.
That's another option.
But not before I pick an indie title to throw right on the screen. It's not really indie, but it's like from a smaller publisher. We have Vampirella issue number 1.
Oh, goodness.
I'm putting the Virgin 1 in 50 on the list here. $150 comic. If that's too expensive for you, don't worry. If you don't mind the trade dress, you can still get the variant with the trade dress for about $50. But this Vampirella cover is gorgeous. She's hot. She's bathing in blood. And you know what? I got to own this. I'm a big like Red Sonja fan. I wish he would do a Red Sonja cover. This may be the closest I'm going to get.
It's all you. If I find one, I know who to give it to.
Ryan doesn't like the sexy covers. He likes Hal Jordan. That's pretty much it.
Yes. I don't know. I've never read Vampirella, so maybe it's an awesome comic. People love it.
What else did you put on your list, man? Because I think you got some Star Wars coming up.
I did. I love the way it's weird. I love the way he draws lightsabers.
Sure.
Right? Because my favorite thing about Alex Ross.
You like this fire. You
right?
like the way he draws water, probably.
No, it's the light. I know what it is. It's the lighting. It's the reflections. It's because he does all these like photographs of things and is able to actually capture the reflections of things. And there's a lot of art he does where like Darth Vader is in the dark.
Sure.
And you just see the reflection of the red light everywhere. And like the way he captures that is freaking awesome. So he did a cover of Star Wars issue number 1 from like the 2015 Marvel, the rebirth, if you will, of Star Wars at Marvel. And he did a variant cover for issue number 1.
There's a 1 in 50.
Ooh. Didn't know that. That means I'll never find it.
Well, dude, it's affordable. It's like $40.
That's not bad.
Not terrible.
Darth Vader on the front with a bunch of stormtroopers in the back doing like the superhero landing with the lightsaber.
Yeah, he kind of like has a Thor looking thing. Like he just like landed with Mjolnir in one hand, but instead he's got the lightsaber and it's like pointed down.
So cool.
That is so dope, dude. That's a good pick.
I like it.
Okay. Next one on my list, I'm putting on a variant to a classic Spider-Man story here. We have ASM 568. This is the Negative Effect limited edition variant. It came with a certificate of authenticity, and there were only supposedly 1,599 of these printed. But here's the cool thing. This one isn't a very expensive variant. You can get them for under $100. They regularly sell for between 60 and 80. Pretty interesting.
I've never seen this variant before. I've seen the normal version of this cover, and even that is freaky.
But when you see that variant and the negative color aspect that he put on it, you're like, oh yeah, I see why that would go for more money.
It's even more upsetting in a good way.
All right, and then what are you going to close us out with?
My final one that I picked is kind of a classic. It's one of the earlier Alex Ross comics I discovered, but the last issue of Kingdom Come.
I appreciate you not picking issue number 1. You're like, you had all of the issues to pick, and you're like, you know what? Issue number 4 is what's going on there.
It's kind of what I was talking about before with the darkness and the reflection and the light. And this one is, it's got the Kingdom Come, the alternate universe Superman in the dark.
Yeah, you picked a Superman cover. Like, you
course.
could have picked a Green Lantern cover, dude.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Green Lantern. He did a variant for Green Lantern 1 on the Jeff Johns run. I have it. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, he's done some cool JSA Green Lantern stuff, but I don't see a whole lot of like just Green Lantern covers by Alex Ross.
Yeah, I looked just to see if there was any I wasn't aware of for this list,
but none of them were tickling your fancy.
No, not exactly. I was not tickled. I was tickled, however, by this Superman cover.
$7, dude, for like this book. It's a $5 book.
Sure.
In high grade. But you know what? It's a classic book. Everyone needs to own this run. 1 through 4. Go get it if you don't own it.
I don't own the single issues though. I got the Absolute Kingdom Come. I got the big heavy,
It's
gem mint status. But
you need to have the whole set at least available for you to read at any point.
You do. You got to read Kingdom Come.
Comic Fam, make sure you comment down below. I want to know your thoughts about this Alex Ross list. Again, these were actually just our favorite picks because this was like the first time we were able to do a deep dive into this.
I'm really surprised we haven't done like any kind of creator, like, top 10 list of ex-creator.
Dude, if there was like a Mount Rushmore of artists, he would be on there. You know what I mean?
Yes. The Mount Rushmore of comic book artists. Alex Ross definitely deserves a place there.
He probably would be one of the people to help chisel it, man. The guy's basically a sculptor too.
He'd make it out of, cardboard and tape.
There you go.